and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me, as always, Mike the Skeptic. How you doing, Mike?
Damn it, now I have performance anxiety. Hi.
Somebody fluff him. Maybe he can. No. And we've got Mr. David Davis. David, how you doing today, buddy?
Hello, human.
Uh-oh.
David is not here right now.
It's Robo Dave.
I am doing okay. I'm just testing out my new body.
Dave's not here, man.
Oh, God. You know, I was wondering how long it would take to get to that joke. So last week, we talked about the fake moon landing and got really, really pissed off. So this, of course, is part 2 of Over the Moon. And we're going to ask really just groundbreaking, deep questions, such as what we're about to hear right here.
Gee, I wonder who owns that moon.
So, yeah, we're going to ask the hard-hitting questions. That was a clip from The Kids in the Hall, by the way. One of my favorite weird little sketches. Just Dave Foley, and it's, gee, wonder who owns that moon. So,
The Dr. Seuss Bible.
oh, God, I love that sketch so freaking much. Oh, God. So, yeah, we're going to talk about your more crackpot moon theories, particularly fake moon stuff.
Ooh.
And we're going to start off with me. I'm going to be talking about the theory of the hollow moon. Now,
Yeah. Like basketball, just it's a giant inflated ball.
sort of. We're going to get into that, though.
So you're telling me it's like a chocolate orange, but without the filling?
It's like a hollow Cadbury cream egg.
It's like a Kinder Surprise, but the good ones that the Europeans get, not the shit ones that
Yeah,
Americans get.
it's just like that, because when you crack the moon open, it's just a giant plastic monkey ring.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, or a toy car. Not one of those shitty licensed ones with, like, Spider-Man. So, here's the thing. Like, I wanted to, like, note my sources like you always do, David. Mm-hmm. And I ran into a problem.
Uh-oh.
All my sources have been taken down. Like, all the websites I had bookmarked now lead to dead sites, including whobuiltthemoon.com. So,
Oh, shit.
you know what that means. They got
It's
to
all
'em.
real.
They got to them. It's all real, every bit of it. So everything I'm about to talk about, even the contradictory stuff, is true.
Damn, bro, that's sick.
What about the Wayback Machine? Did you find anything there?
I didn't actually get the chance, and to be honest, once I realized I didn't have to look at those sites, I kind of felt better. And I already knew all this stuff.
I do want to preface it before you get into that.
Yeah.
I am a little sick right now. So if I drop out or don't reply right away, it's probably because I have my mic off so I can like have a sneezing or coughing fit. But
Yeah.
I just took a antigen test. It came back negative, so
It's
probably not COVID.
It's just a crappy cold.
Depending on how accurate those are. I haven't really delved into how
Yeah.
the accuracy rate of that
So
is.
don't
But
worry. If he does cough into the microphone and you're listening to the podcast at home, you will not get COVID.
That's not what Joe Rogan said.
Well, Joe Rogan can go, like, to the hollow moon. Hang on.
Hollow moon or hollow head? Ha, ha.
Hollow head on the hollow moon. How you like my little segue here?
You know, I never thought I would side on Neil Young against Joe Rogan, but
Right?
I didn't either, but here we are. So let's start.
speaking of lunatics,
Yes, let's start with transient lunar phenomenon. Are you guys familiar with this at all?
No.
The basic idea is that for, God, hundreds of years, there's been these sightings of weird stuff around the moon, like flashes of light, strange patches of color. Sometimes something will be seen to cross the lunar disk. And a lot of times this is probably just atmospheric phenomenon between the observer and the moon. But it has led to a lot of theories about the moon, like that, you know, back in the 1800s, were a lot of scientists that were like, well, surely the moon must be inhabited. So, like, they would take a look, and, like, some astronomers were like, I've seen bat people on the moon. They're 4 feet tall. They have big bat wings. In fact, there's a bigger race of Batmen, and they all look like angels. So that's, scientifically sound. Again, this is all true because the sites have been taken down. But, like, these transient lunar phenomenon have been seen for a long time as some form of proof that, there's aliens on the moon or something on the moon. Of course,
That's also like what happened with Mars, because you have those canyons that look like canals.
Oh,
Everybody
the
assumed there
canal,
was-
yes.
Yeah, there was also there. Everybody assumed there was like some Martian civilization, which is why we ended up getting War of the Worlds. So-
Yes, which I really find that fascinating because we've never seen them again since. So,
right.
yeah, it's just like, well, it doesn't look like any of the drawings. So part of the thing with the lunar phenomenon leads into, I'm kind of stepping on your toes here, but there are these theories that the moon is so ate up with activity that they actually had to choose a different landing site for the first moon landing because, as I said, it was, quote, crawling and too busy.
Right. You want to go do a photo shoot, but the club is busy, so you have to go to the park.
Exactly. So, Mike, how do you feel about that? Yeah.
So the government knows about all the shit that's on the moon and it's just, trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
Then
Absolutely.
why even go there? Why don't you do like
Politics.
because they could have staged it with Stanley Kubrick on a soundstage.
Well, again, he made them go to the moon because he demanded they shoot on location.
Yeah,
I thought we covered that.
sure.
So, but yeah, they said it had to be moved, and then there's all the rumors that, when they were out there on the surface, they're like, there's dozens of them around the craters. I swear to God, they're watching us, saying there were all these UFOs around the rims of the craters. I'm like, not really a good way to censor that out of a live broadcast.
Did NASA have to call ahead, say, "Hey, we're gonna be landing on the moon. Just stay out of sight. We don't want our dad to see."
Yeah, no, what they did is they had to call and they had to get one of those Airbnbs on the moon.
Thanks, NASA.
Yeah, never a straight answer.
You're the reason why the rent's going up, NASA.
Yep, pretty much. So, now, all this, of course, leads to the theory of the hollow moon, which, because they're saying, well, it's either an alien base on the far side of the moon, which we got photos of that, and they're like, okay, well, they're inside the moon. You don't have
What?
pictures of that, fuckers.
What?
Yeah. Once we got pictures of the other side of the moon, they're like, well, they live
So-
in the moon.
So how hollow is it?
Okay, well, here it depends.
Is it like Swiss cheese or Dyson sphere?
It depends on who you're talking to. Like, one of the theories, of course, is that after they were defeated, the Nazis went to the moon in their flying saucers.
Oh, of
and
course.
Are in underground tunnel bases.
Well, no. You see, that was just a break-off splinter of the Nazis. The rest of them went to the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, well,
And in the future, there's going to be a Nazi-on-Nazi war where the Moon Nazis fight the Hollow Earth Nazis.
you know what?
Now, where do the boys from Brazil come in?
I kind of feel like they're with the Hollow Earth guys.
Okay, they're the
'Cause
forward
they're-
team.
They're the surface vanguard /
Yeah.
scouts. They report back on how it's going.
Well, I mean, part of the thing is, of course, they're also in South America. And it's literally like a hop, skip, and a jump to Antarctica and the polar hole. So
Well, there's also I think there's
The
also a
root
lot
chakra.
of a lot of
Hole her hole,
equator,
but I just met her.
equator holes.
what? What, Mike?
What?
Equator holes to the Hollow Earth.
I have not read anything about equator holes to the Hollow
Maybe
Earth.
I'm just thinking about movies that have them there, but
Yeah, it's always the North and South Pole because
But
you
the
got
North
you
Pole
got
is
the
underwater.
there's a butthole and a head hole.
There's no land at the North Pole.
There's an ice ring.
There's an ice hole.
Yes,
You said the Nazis crawled into the ice hole.
that's exactly what they did.
Who are you calling a nice hole?
The Nazis.
There's
Oh,
Nazi
fair enough.
ice hole.
Yeah, argue with me on that one.
Like how big is the ice hole? Is it like man size? Like
Look, Mike, you can
airplane size?
literally Google polar hole hollow Earth, and you will find a picture.
Sweet.
It's real damn big.
It's a
So
big old hole.
it's a big. We got a big honking hole at the bottom of our planet.
That's where the rod goes through for the globe.
Oh, you're right.
The globes are actually completely real scale models, including the holes for the rod
Oh God.
and the hollowness too.
Okay, look back to this
The
hollow moon.
Yeah, we're not talking about
thing.
hollow Earth. We're talking about hollow.
We've
moon.
done hollow Earth. We're doing hollow moon. Now, the science, and I have a question mark and exclamation point after the word science.
Do you have it in parentheses? Not parentheses, quotation marks.
No, I don't.
Oh,
It's
for shame.
more pronounced science. So
It's science.
here are the scientific bases that people latch onto for the moon being hollow. Because this isn't the honeycomb hideout version of the hollow moon. This is the, like you were saying, like the Dyson sphere version.
Yes.
All right. So first off, they put seismographs on the moon, right? Mm-hmm. And when they were taking off, they like blasted part of the module back down to the lunar surface, right? And it crashed.
Yep.
And the moon rang like a bell for, I think it's like 15, 20 minutes the first time. And
Yeah.
the second time they tried it, it rang for 45 minutes. Because it hit harder.
Now, did this happen on the blue space on the moon? Because there's no air in space, I recall, right?
No, it's got nothing to do with the Watcher.
Okay.
Okay, I need to get that there. It's not the Inhumans or the Watcher.
Okay.
So, along with it ringing like a bell, they say the reason it does that is because the moon isn't as dense as it's supposed to be. I don't really know where that science comes from, but that's what they say. And, this is a fun one. The craters are too shallow. Like,
Too shallow.
they're saying that, you look at craters on Earth, they're like super fucking deep, right?
Yeah.
On the moon, they're not as deep, and the bottoms of the craters are still convex,
I was going to make a joke about the craters not having enough life experience, but I'm just not going to now.
They're too shallow, yeah. So, they're saying that is because it is a thin layer of, quote, natural material on top of a metallic sphere, which is the actual hull of the moon.
My head hurts already.
I know.
My head hurts from sinus pressure, but this isn't helping.
I know. But part of the thing they're saying is that the reason it doesn't have enough mass and everything is the moon is an artificial structure. Called Spaceship Moon.
Do you realize how small the moon is?
Yes.
I mean, the moon is pretty small,
I know.
and therefore it has less mass
I understand this.
because it's solid. I mean, arguing that even if the moon is solid, which is a weird phrase to say, it would have about how much mass the moon apparently shows as having.
Yeah, but they
That's
say
if you
that.
believe in science.
Yes.
Yeah, get you and your frickin' science. So
Now, if the moon was the size of the Earth, yet had that law of gravity, yes, a lot of it would have to be hollow to,
right.
have the same gravity, or have
Now-
lower gravity.
Again, this is all part of the spaceship moon theory, which, again, I would have more information about, but whobuiltthemoon.com is gone. So, the question is, gentlemen, Who's in there and where did it come from? Now, of course, the first answer is always Nazis.
Yeah.
It's always Nazis are up there playing in the Fourth Reich, and they're going to come down.
I think the first answer would be aliens, but the second answer is definitely Nazis.
Yeah, well, we're going to go with the second answer first, but yeah, it's going to be the Uberwaften. Is that right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's another secret Epstein location.
Between aliens and Nazis.
He didn't get Clinton. He moved to the moon.
He didn't get Ark-incited.
But between aliens and Nazis would be Nazi aliens.
I don't even want to imagine that, dude.
Because the Nazis were propped up by the aliens.
Well, yeah, no.
So they probed you while saying racial slurs?
There's so many directions I could go in that I can't go in right now. So, because we're not doing that. One of these days, we're going to have to do an episode on anti-Semitic conspiracies just to get it done.
Yep.
So we'll add that to the pile.
We'll see. No, I'm not going there.
Okay. Yeah. No, definitely not today. None of us are in the mood for that today. So, again.
I want to say one word.
What?
Space Jews.
God dang it.
If there are space Nazis, there could be space Jews, too.
Okay, sure, but you broke me.
Mel Brooks did it.
Yeah.
He did. I love that movie, by the way.
Jews in space.
They're Jews out in space. Yeah, no, I love their shooting the penis ships. All right, so yeah, aliens is the obvious answer. Now, the theory is that they came here in the moon as a giant disguised spaceship, parked it in orbit to make sure that the Earth could support life. And then, when the system was in place, they seeded life on Earth, and they've been watching us from the moon ever since.
Well,
and the ships come out of the moon, which has no holes.
I mean, that's not the... Okay, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but it's not... I mean, that make an awesome sci-fi story.
See, I have got so many stories where I've been planning to do that.
But,
You haven't convinced me that they're not the Inhumans yet.
Okay, that's fair, but I mean, the Inhumans are still humans that have been affected by Terrigen Mist.
The Inhumans, what is that?
Marvel.
Is that the one that had the toys?
No, that's Inhumanoids.
Oh, okay.
No, Inhumans are like Black Bolt and Medusa, and they had that god-awful ABC series that nobody liked.
Yep. Which is a shame, because the Inhumans are great, but that's a topic for another time.
Yeah, no, that's a whole different podcast right there. But, I mean, this is also the whole idea of, like, exogenesis. Aliens starting everything.
Panspermia.
Yeah, except with, like, literally a sperm gun shooting out of the moon.
Jizzing all over Mother Earth.
Klaxar, shoot it in the face. Shoot it in her face.
Oh, that's bad.
She's a dirty planet. She likes it.
All right, don't go planet shaming.
Okay, yeah, we don't kink shame here. But yeah, no, the theory with that is that they're still there. They're still watching. That's what UFOs are. And I guess it folds into the whole thing about they made us to mine gold. I don't know.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally take the aliens living on the moon thing and tie it into any conspiracy you want.
Because the gold on Earth is more special than the billions and billions of tons of it in the asteroids.
Hey, Mike, what's that scientific idea you came up with that the moon surface is probably made of underneath the surface? It's that material you came up with.
Is that the platinum thing?
Yeah.
The unbonded dinucleic platinum.
Yeah, no, that's what the moon's made of, I think. So, here's the other theory, and I love this one. This is another thing where I'm like, God, you guys should just stop coming up with conspiracies and write comic books. We came here in the moon like a cosmic arc from our original home planet. and that we abandoned the moon and came down here. You know, like the end of Battlestar Galactica? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like that. But the moon.
They were travelers. Nobody knew where they came from, what they wanted. All they knew is that they had to come to Earth.
And they built Stonehenge. I'm glad I got that. But I actually really like this theory. I mean, it's complete bullshit, but I do like the idea of, like, you know, humanity having... It also reminds me of the game Homeworld.
Right. Well, and if you're going to start a webcomic, that's a great way to kind of start your character's planet for your webcomics. Like, we're going to do that Earth myth, but, you know.
Except we find out, at, like, you know, we go to the moon, and it's hollow. There's, like, a big thing saying, don't go home. Don't go home. There are giant raccoons. Don't go home.
Don't go home. Beetlejuice is haunted.
Beetlejuice sucks. There was a great collapsing Hurung disaster. Now, lastly, this is a theory that I've been sitting on because I didn't tell Mike about it.
So you've been keeping it warm, huh?
I've been sitting on this one to keep it warm and toasty and to watch Mike's brain run out of his headphones.
Oh, no.
So lastly, the moon may have been built by humanity in the distant future and sent to the past to make Earth habitable. The theory being that we're eventually going to get up there, find our way into the hollow moon, and there's going to be this giant metal slab that says, "Don't forget to build the moon," signed Bill S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan.
It's just going to go there.
But, like, that's seriously a theory that the moon is actually built by future humans and sent back to make sure it's habitable, but we have to make sure we get to the moon again and find the information that says we have to build the moon.
It's fucking stupid.
It's a time loop, y'all. Come on.
It's a paradox.
It is a paradox, and it's stupid, but...
Almost as dumb as fucking your own grandmother.
You didn't know my granny. Ugh. So, my point is... I don't have a point. This is stupid. It is just fucking stupid, but I love the idea that, like, we have to build the moon. There's going to be a note there saying, don't forget to do this, or it won't happen. But it did happen. It's literally Ted's dad's keys.
Like, the Avenger time travel makes more sense than that.
I don't know. I mean, it's basically, it's a paradox, but it's also like a closed loop.
Well,
you know? It's
we'll
basically...
have to talk about time travel because there's a lot of theories.
I'm reading a book about it right now by Nick Redfern, and let me tell you, I can't wait for him to actually talk about time travel.
So why don't you go to the future when you've already read it and ask yourself a question about it?
Actually, that's mostly what it's about, is about, like, not time travel, but, like, future dreams.
Yes, fall asleep and you wake up in the future. Yeah,
exactly. And it's just real stupid. Just the idea that we have to make the moon so that, you know, the Earth has a stable environment so we can develop.
Now, Kevin, I have a question for you.
Yes?
Where do we get the materials to make the moon?
Man,
do we tear down the moon and then remake it?
That would be hilarious if we did it, like, once we become like a galactic civilization and Earth is uninhabitable. We like take the moon and send it back into the past, or like you said, tear it apart, rebuild it, give it a new coat of paint, change the oil, put new wipers on.
We can rebuild it. We can make it stronger, better, faster.
Daft Punk. Wouldn't it be great if we had into like the weirdest time loop where instead of building the moon, it's just like a giant Daft Punk helmet?
Oh man, that'd be great.
The one with the screens and the screen and the lights.
Oh yeah, that'd be Tomas.
Yes.
Tomas Bangalter.
Yeah, him. His head orbiting the Earth.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
In all your reading, did anyone ever propose that the moon was hollowed out by advanced saurians, dinosaur, anthropomorphic dinosaurs?
is this an episode of Dino Saucers?
No, I'm just saying that, what if dinosaurs did evolve into sentient beings?
So like the
And
Dinosauroid.
then, and during the asteroid thing, they were like, well, we got to get somewhere else, so they went to their moon base.
That's, sure. I mean, I never read that, but I mean, you can take it as read that there is a theory that is actually the headquarters of the lizard people.
Reptilians? The reptilians?
Because, and here's the thing, David Icke actually has a lot to say about the moon.
Yeah.
David
Of
Icke,
course.
of course he fucking does. David Icke says that the moon is hollow and full of lizard people, and that they're beaming the bad vibe rays at us from the moon.
Yesterday I was watching
They eat our bad moods and sadness and anger psychically, so they have to make us miserable by shooting it at us from the moon.
Okay, so I have a question. You guys did the David Icke episode.
Yes.
So the other day I was watching a documentary on Pluto TV that was all about the lizard people. Why is it everybody in those documentaries, why are they all British?
That's a really good question.
What the fuck is the matter with the UK?
I don't believe in the 5G conspiracy, but maybe there's a stupid ray in British 5G. I don't know. I don't mean to insult British listeners. I love you guys, but like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And the problem is they're all British, so they sound like they know what they're talking about.
Right? Right?
Americans automatically believe them because, they got that accent.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just seems like it's mostly the British who believe in the lizard people.
Yeah,
and I
okay.
understand because of the royal family.
Sure. I
But-
mean, yeah, they've got the blood disease. I mean, you pull the Queen's face off and it looks like V, but here's the thing. If someone came to you and said, I believe that the moon may in fact be hollow and full of reptosapiens, said in that voice, you might stop and go, okay, go on. Meanwhile, if some of the people at the store come up and go, hey man, I believe the moon might be hollow and full of reptosapiens.
Well,
Okay,
first
get
I'd be
out.
impressed they could say reptosapiens.
Sir, I cannot sell to you because you obviously are already drunk.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. But yeah,
It's another reptosapien conspiracy.
no sir, you're obviously drunk, get out of the store. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously lizard people. I just didn't bring it up right off because, I mean, if you're listening to this show, just assume there's a lizard people angle.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
supernatural selection. There's always a lizard person.
That's the next shirt right there.
Sasquatch, he's just a lizard person shill.
Sasquatch is just like a lizard person wearing a ghillie suit.
Yeah, it's a lizard person wanting to be a
is.
furry instead of a scaly.
It's actually is a a person in a suit, but it's a lizard person, not a human person.
That's what the Patterson Gimlin footage was. It's actually a lizard person. Actually, there is a theory that Bigfoot comes from the moon because, of course, there's a theory that Bigfoot comes from the moon in the hollow moon.
Yep.
And, I really didn't even talk about the alien bases on the outside of the moon because that's outside of my sphere this week.
Yeah.
That's my one.
Well, that's all right. I'll talk about that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Mike.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the moon being hollow and everything. I understand you've got something you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. So that's all good. The moon being hollow. Even if it was hollow, you'd see like big fucking holes, right?
Sure.
Or if the moon landing was fake, there's got to be a reason it was faked, right? Mm-hmm. So the one I found dovetails into both of y'all's.
Okay.
That the moon in fact is either covered up or entirely a hologram. You can hear a pin drop. So there's two sides.
Okay. Can we start with the
One of them,
complete hologram first?
I would go the other way.
Okay. Let's start with the. It's a
So-
big TV screen. It's a projector
Well,
screen.
no, the hologram is projected to hide the alien bases
Okay.
on the moon.
Is this an episode of Scooby Doo now? What's
Yes.
going on?
Zoinks!
But no, I mean they're so this all kind of not all, but the under one of the main piece of proof for either theory. So which theory is right is debated in the moon as a moon hologram circles.
Yeah.
Some people say, the moon is actually there. Some say the moon is entirely made up. But
Can we just say it's the moon hologram square? Because I refuse to believe there's more than 4 of these guys.
I mean, yeah, it's probably an echo chamber.
Okay.
But
So, yeah.
there is a piece of footage that both sides claim that shows that the moon is in fact a hologram.
Tell us about this proof.
So it is.
Have you heard of this, David, by the way?
I think we might have touched on it at one point. I remember talking about it.
I think it was just you and me talking about
Might
it.
have been. But there's a piece of footage on YouTube, and in fact, I'll link it so we can put it in the show notes, that has someone using a telescope zoomed in on the moon and kind of the disk of the moon. It's like kind of the side so you can see the disk, part of the disk of the moon. And from top to bottom, there is a line that passes, kind of like, if you point your camera at a CRT back in the day, just this line that slowly moves from the top to the bottom of the moon, and the moon kind of shifts to one side, like by about 1 or 2 pixels, but it only does it in the course of this line. So that obviously shows a holographic projection of the moon.
Because otherwise you'd see, like, Moon Village.
Yeah, I mean, you're hiding the moon bases, all the aliens that are up there.
Hey, man, it's your fantasy
lunar
world.
waves.
You make up whatever you want to be on the moon that they're hiding. It could be a theme park, could be a casino, could be another Marlboro plant.
I'm sorry, this is just so stupid.
Yeah, no, I thought it would be a real good idea to do this episode after like the super serious one last week, and now I realize this is just woefully stupid.
It's all been painful. It's all been very painful.
Lots of people have filmed these quote unquote lunar waves.
The lunar wave.
That's
what they do at football games.
Yeah,
That sounds like something you'd hear on a John Tesh radio show.
Ooh.
and they
You're
are
listening to Lunar Wave.
They are phenomenon. Like I've just posted the video. You can look at it, but
This is John D. Liberto. You're listening to Echoes. Up
I
next
will
is Lunar Wave.
later get into some theories about what actually is happening. But
Yeah.
so let's just talk about the fact that the hologram is hiding structures, cities
Sure.
on the moon from alien cities. Because like you said, some people in history have reported seeing things on the moon. What if they saw like, hey, humanity's coming up, we better hide ourselves, and created a holographic projector to hide their cities.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask one question real
Sure.
quick? Where's the projector?
So there's various theories about that, obviously. Some say the Earth is projecting the hologram, which I'm like,
That's unhealthy.
yeah. But most of them say it's coming from the moon itself.
From the moon. So,
It's a cloaking device. It's
It's
okay.
like Wakanda.
I mean, if you can live, if you can make a city on the moon, you can make a holographic projector to, hide your moon.
if you have the technology to build a city on the moon, you have the technology to hide a city on the moon. That's
yeah.
what you're. Yeah. Okay.
But, the moon.
How the
falling
hell
down-
is yours like more like logical and discussion worthy than the crap I was? It's the lizard people thing, isn't it?
Oh, we talked about yours. We discussed
Okay.
yours.
No, it's just yours. Just sounds plausible when you say it.
So I'm coming from a source of authority. Is that it?
I guess so.
I seem more knowledgeable, so therefore you believe me.
Sure.
All right. So
Spin me more yarns, Mike.
any more questions about the lunar cities of aliens that we're hiding? I mean, like I said, this dovetails kind of into yours. That
Yeah.
there are things on the moon. Also dovetails into David's about the why we would have to fake the moon landings, because you obviously can't land on a urbanized moon and pretend we got there first.
And of course, that's why you'd have to move the landing site, because it's like, well, we don't want to.
They almost landed on an alien's lunar Starbucks.
Oh,
We don't want a Stuckies in the background.
I was just about to say they almost landed at a Stuckey's. Oh, God. Welcome to the Lunar Wawa.
So, is that it? Want me to move on?
Yeah. I don't have any other questions because my brain is already fucked.
So hold on to your
Yeah,
butt.
I'm there too.
Okay.
Hold on to your butts.
Okay.
Because it's about to get really wacky.
Okay.
Because if the moon's a hologram, or we see the moon as a holographic projection, well, what if the moon doesn't exist at all?
Okay. So, here.
Instead of being, covering something up, it's just they're projecting a hologram. Someone's projecting a hologram to fool us into thinking there's a moon.
Where'd I put that gun? So, here's the question about the moon don't exist thing.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so it's being projected into the sky. Who built the projector, I guess? Is that the aliens?
So like I said, there's
Or
various
is that
theories.
like
It's
the Illuminati?
aliens? But according to this Reddit post, as all evidence suggests, the moon is a hologram set up by the U.S. government and maintained by a series of unregistered satellites in space that power the projection of the big ivory object so many people believe is to be real.
Okay. What about before the United States
Yeah, well,
and space travel?
so apparently it was set up because it was cheaper than going to the moon to project the moon. That's what I just read.
Okay, but we had a moon before.
No, we didn't. Prove it.
Well, there's a lot of fucking paintings with it.
That was just swamp gas.
That was just fake evidence. Like, the dinosaur bones. Dinosaurs didn't exist. The world came into creation 6,000 years ago.
Is this like the whole we
Satan
came
put
up?
the. Yeah,
Middle Ages didn't exist, neither did the moon.
could be. Dovetails nicely.
So, the only other evidence that suggests the moon is real comes from ancient depictions of the moon. This one is a little easier to disprove.
Wait. Go on.
Obviously, any ancient artwork that includes a representation of the moon has either been wrongfully categorized in that it actually depicts the sun or another proven celestial body, or has been put there by the U.S. government to assure the masses that the moon is real and always has been real. So
God damn it.
you've been psyoped, Kevin.
God damn it.
You made me feel stupid.
After all, the moon only came into existence as a concept and as a generally accepted natural satellite in the 20th century, and it was the work of the U.S. government to do as much. That's the sentence. It stops as that. That's the whole sentence.
So why does Russia buy into it for the space race?
Because they're also controlled by the lizard people, I guess. I don't know. I mean, all the governments collude together to keep us sheeple in lines.
I'm just so upset. I'm so upset right now.
I'm sitting here just like, I don't even know where to start.
This is the most broken I've ever been by the show.
You know what? You're right.
Well, Kevin, just rest assured that any other notion put forward, like these artifacts have not been tampered with, are lies told by the deceitful government that, given the reading above, has been proven to lie and lie and lie over and over again.
How much you want to bet the person who typed that hasn't been vaccinated?
I'm not even taking those odds. Those are that's 100% guaranteed.
Yeah, no, and I'm willing to wager the Earth is flat in this man's household.
I also guarantee that person has a sovereign citizen ID card and no tags on their vehicle.
No, he's got a cardboard tag that says sovereign citizen, tag not needed.
And
And they wear a Q shirt.
a lot of Bible verses done in those
Mailbox letters.
Letters, yes.
Yeah. He drives a chick tractor. Oh my god. I mean, like, what do we get out of it then? If there's no moon and the government says there's a moon, what do they get out of it?
Not having to go to the moon to prove that we can go to the moon.
But
obviously,
you don't have.
Kevin, have you been listening?
By the time this decade is out, we will send people to the non-existent thing in the sky.
You see that thing that just appeared there 3 days ago? Well, we're going to land
there
on
the
that
whole
thing.
goddamn time.
It's called the moon. You dumb motherfuckers. It's been there the whole time. Why haven't you noticed it? We're going there to beat the Ruskies.
And then they shot him in the head.
No, they hopped him up on meth. And
they hopped him up on meth, shot him in the head.
And then sat Marilyn Monroe on his body.
Yep.
I'm just sitting here with my head buried into my hands.
Like, I want to let you in on a secret, ladies and gentlemen. We don't believe in any of these.
Yeah, no, but it really does make your head fucking crack open.
Statistically speaking, between the three of us, Kevin is most likely to believe this.
No, that's true, and I don't believe this.
Which is that's I'm proud of you.
Except maybe the hollow moon.
The hollow moon, I want it to be true.
Not fully hollow, just maybe some tunnels with some
No, because that means Nazis. I want it to just be a big old sphere with a flight deck and a bar and 10 forward and a saucy black lady that runs the
Nazis,
bar. And
could be Nazis, could be moon moles.
A giant
moon moles.
Okay, not a giant, but a piece of neutron star in the direct center to actually have the correct gravity for a body of its size.
Sure. And then I don't know where the thrusters are unless it's a UFO and uses a gravity engine.
It just depends on its origin. If it was built in situ, it didn't need any thrusters.
Oh, no.
From the dark, moist side of the moon.
Oh, God, again. Big, stinky clouds propelling it through space. That's why it's got all those holes back there.
And, the thruster holes have been covered in by dust after all those asteroid impacts.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Pulverizing the moon rock that
they put over the super dense hull.
The moon took a pounding. That's why we can't see.
So
are you saying the moon took a pounding in the butt?
So, yes, that's what you're saying. But here's the thing: is that the only way that makes sense is if there was a moon. It not necessarily didn't have to be our moon. Could have been a moon, in around another body, but it was still started as a moon, but was made of, a lot of metal that they hollowed out into a spaceship.
But what if they built the spaceship and then covered it in rocks?
You have to get all that material from somewhere.
Okay.
So it would take a moon's worth of material to build a moon spaceship.
Well, nobody said they couldn't do that, but imagine this for a second. You've got this giant fucking metal sphere, right? And you're going to send it to Earth for whatever reason, observation, your disguise, whatever. You put it on this giant Krispy Kreme conveyor belt, but instead of the icing, it's just moon rock. Liquid moon rock.
Kevin?
I'm going to make up a new theory here and now. The Martians borrowed a moon from Jupiter, placed it in front of Earth. I'm going to put a website together, and we're going to make money off of this.
Yeah.
But don't forget, you can make your own website at Squarespace. We need sponsors.
But, if you look at the current accepted theory of the origin of the moon.
Oh, are we talking about the massive impact?
Yeah, some part of the moon came from outside. I don't know about our solar. I don't know if it was a solar system body or it was.
I've heard the theory that it was a solar system body,
but still
on an erratic orbit, and they call it Theia.
A small planetoid about the size of the current moon impacted Earth, and the molten combination of that planetoid and what came from Earth solidified into the moon. So, yes, the Earth didn't always have the moon.
But it wasn't really Earth either. Not this Earth.
It was a mostly solid, rocky body that hadn't really started any
Sure, but
geological processes.
you know what this makes me think of, though?
Huh.
Those old Reese's peanut butter cup commercials.
Yeah.
You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. You got your peanut butter in my chocolate.
You got my planetoid and my planet. We're going to make a moon.
When a planetoid and a planet love each other very much.
Yeah. And so in planetary formations, the odds of a moon just forming around the planet are, spherically like that are pretty low. Like,
Yeah, I mean, shit, look at Mars.
yeah, most of them, most large spherical moons are either captures or like the Earth's. It's a suspected to be some form of collision. I think there are some moons that are kind of more like rubbly, loose rubble that were collected from the bits of the planet that
Phobos.
were left over. Yeah. And of
Which
course,
also, they say Phobos is hollow.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. That was supposed to be the
that's a Jovian moon, right?
no,
Saturn? Oh.
that's Mars.
Mars. Okay.
Yeah. No, they're saying that was like Moon 1.0, and it sucked real bad,
So
and
there's
they could do better.
So they test marketed it and found that the audience didn't like that moon.
Yeah, they didn't like turd-shaped moons. They like them big and round and thick.
They like the round ones. Mm-hmm. With the pokey.
Okay, no more.
craters.
Okay, no more boob jokes. All right, let's.
And now to the butt moon jokes.
So, before we move on to Mike melting our minds a bit more with more.
Yeah. So the thread I found this from was from r/moontruthers on Reddit.
And we're going to go over some of those topics in a minute. But as I've said before, I'm a fan of a podcast called What's It Called? And recently I asked them, since we're doing this topic, I told them we really need to rename the moon because, I mean, the moon.
I mean, the name the moon is, well, there's other moons.
That's the Great Value brand name for the moon.
It's like Chevrolet came out with the car.
or we're calling our star the sun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So I said, all right, we need to rename it. I was like, okay, I'm going to start with Outer Dakota.
It's about as barren.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to live there just about as much.
Yeah. Let's see. I like Mike Perry. Came in with Space Kmart.
Both pretty desolate and
Yeah.
hard to breathe in.
Yeah. Cat, pronouns it, that, said, started with Budget Earth. And possibly my favorite, Creamy Gary.
Why Creamy Gary?
I don't know. I just like it.
It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue.
We can have people vote on it. Mooney McMoonface.
Yeah. I mean,
It's always going to be Mooney McMoonface.
That's ruined any kind of voting. Like,
Yeah.
for anything for at least the next generation.
Yeah. Well, the Demurist gave us two. The first one's great. It sounds like a porn name. Dusty Lagrange.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Loon Albano. It's terrible. I love it.
Those are going to catch something from Dusty Lagrange.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's see. Fireworks, him, said, that weird floating speck in Earth's eye when it wakes up.
I hate, not the specks, but like, it's like the Earth version of like the crusties you get in your eye.
No, that's it exactly.
Got to like pull them out of your eyelashes.
Yeah.
Turns out that's like bug explosion sex.
Ugh. So Kick Acetron, fan of the show, said, going by the rest of the solar system being named for Roman gods, first thought was Luna, but that's too on the nose, so maybe something like Rick.
Wubba lubba dub dub.
Oh, I
don't
hate
know.
it.
The moon is pretty boring and, always, but reliable. So it'd be like I don't know.
Hyman. Phil.
Yeah, just someone that's...
Coulson. Let's name it Phil Coulson. How about you, David? What do you want to name the moon?
No, David, that's a great name for the moon.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll call it Dave. But Mike, what were you going to go with?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you think on it, and David, what have you got?
Oh, I mean, everybody's naming things after memes, so I'm just going to say, Slaps Moon, this sucker can hold so many ghosts.
No Nazis.
Oh, good point.
Oh, they don't have to be live Nazis.
Oh,
Ghost
Nazi
Oh,
ghosts on the moon.
Nazi moon ghosts.
Man, I didn't even find anything about that.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
We need to get sponsored by Squarespace and just start pumping the internet full of this bullshit.
Telling you, man, we just got to start our own weird ass conspiracy
So
stuff.
all this talk, I haven't heard one mention of the whalers on the moon.
That's because we haven't been there yet to do whaling.
Well, and when Kevin made the reference earlier to a casino on the moon, I was just going to do that Bender line. I'll start my own amusement park with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the amusement park.
Forget the whole thing. Yeah, no, I love that episode. I love Bender.
Don't you be touching my robot daughter.
But Paul, I love him.
Oh, God. Oh, what
A
was
woman that fine, you got to romance first.
Was it like Crusher or
this
something?
Crushinator?
Crushinator.
2000 or something?
Crushinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
God dang it, Crushinator.
We also got sidetracked renaming the Earth, and we pretty much settled on Washington Dort Court.
I was going to just say dirt ball.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were like Dirt Circle.
Well, and I always thought like the good name for like the Earth, because Earth is just a shit name. I always thought Terra was nice, and that's
Yeah,
why they use
no.
it so much.
Terra's great.
But isn't Terra just like Latin for Earth?
Pretty much. It's Latin
yeah.
for dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
Like-
sounds so much nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to be the laughing stock of the whole goddamn galaxy, though. It's like, what do they call their planet? They call it dirt.
Ah, come on. Everybody that, evolved on their planet calls their planet dirt.
I don't know, man. I like it.
Zipnak from, Alpha Centauri calls it whatever their Alpha Centaurian language word is for dirt.
What if they named their planet after the word for love? Wouldn't that make us look like a bunch of dumbass apes?
Until you build structures and everything, you go to the bathroom on the ground. So why don't you name it toilet?
Why don't we?
Welcome to the planet toilet. This place is shit.
This place is shit.
I'm on the Moon Truther subreddit, and I'm already looking forward to this.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, we're going to do that here in a second. David, I know this has been a rough one for you and me both. Have you got a favorite of these conspiracies so far?
So, when I hear the idea of the moon being fake, what that makes me think is that it makes me think of the whole simulation idea, or that perhaps there is a simulated dome surrounding us, and I've not seen a theory about that, but I'm sure there is one out there.
Oh, you mean like the crystal spheres that surround the Earth?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like
Yeah.
that. There's something beautiful about that idea, which means there's no way it's real. Whoever said truth is beauty is a liar.
Right? Every time I look in the mirror.
Yep. Nope. Look in the mirror. I'm like, you lying son of a bitch.
Well, they call it the ugly truth for a reason.
Ooh, good point.
So there's something I've been sitting on the whole episode, and we can all agree
It's
that
your butt.
It's that too. It's my moon. But it's that the
Moist moon.
the moon is in
Ugh.
fact a harsh mistress.
Oh, you and your damn Heinlein.
So anybody want to hear some moon truthers?
Oh, I would love to hear some of these to ruin
yes.
my night. David's already looking forward to this. So yeah.
So A1D A1Ds. Wow, I hate Reddit's formatting.
Yeah.
Says the moon might be fake, but I also think Neil Armstrong is too. Thoughts?
Wow.
Neil Armstrong doesn't exist.
Were they saying he's like a ventriloquist dummy?
Mr. Neil, spelled Neel, be doing right now, working at the McDonald's ice cream machine. No, because ice cream is fake too, because it's the same color as the moon. Oh God. Okay, this is just a troll.
Okay, that's a troll.
Yeah.
Look,
There's a
Yeah,
lot
they're
of
trollish,
trolls.
but they're fun.
Yeah,
I
there's
d-
a lot of fun trolls.
I
but-
do have this great idea though now of like not Buzz Aldrin. Neil Armstrong as a ventriloquist dummy sitting on Buzz Aldrin's lap. How's it going, Neil? Pretty good. You know.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, if the moon is real, how do you explain this? And it's just a picture of a bag of Lay's potato chips.
Oh, I like the one below that. The one second to the a couple down below. Can I read this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
The moon was rendered in Unity. I saw it. If you look at the axis of 25, 34, 552 of the moon, you can clearly see the Unity watermark.
God damn it,
Damn. They didn't even pay for the full version.
motherfuckers! I
Well,
love.
it's a government project, you know. So there you go.
So I just went through myself, and I love this one, which is guess what? Moon no real.
Well, proof that the moon is fake, and it's a YouTube link. And you know what the YouTube link is?
What?
It's a Rickroll.
God damn it!
the one below it. The one below it's so good too. Moon is dumb and fake and probably can't do a kickflip. If you disagree, you're probably dumb too.
I'm really proud of them for not saying gay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right? We're healing as a society.
we are. Nature is coming back.
Well, there's too much truth. Like, here's someone actually questioning about why would they lie about the moon. Come on, get out of here. This is our moon truths, not our moon cucks.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying,
Here's
someone's
one.
questioning why would they lie about the moon. Why wouldn't they lie about the moon? I mean, I lie about the moon every day.
There's a good image macro here. Learn the real facts. That's the name of the post, and it's a poorly put together image macro. It says, "Hey libtards, have you ever seen the other side of this motherfucker? No. How do you know it exists? Know the truth. Go to America.com. Do you see any moons? No. Learn the truth at moontruthers.gov."
Jesus Christ.
There's a string board of moon truth.
I
but
see that.
it's all bullshit, but fun.
Moon fake. The moon was created by Joe.
Oh, I got another good one.
Okay.
Moon bugging out. If you look at the quote-unquote moon with one eye and then close it and open up the other, you see the quote moon in a different place. This is actually the hologram bugging out.
Oh God, I love moontruthers.gov though. Obvious Photoshop picture of the moon. And what is this? I'm gonna regret this. Yep. Okay, it's just a picture of the fucking moon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God,
Proof moon is no real. How come when I look up in the sky I don't see it? Proved.
Well, Google Images debunks the, quote, orbital moon conspiracy. Holographic moon confirmed. I was
What?
browsing NSA strike through Google Images earlier. So apparently they think NSA and Google's the same thing.
Yeah.
And found the smoking fucking gun. There's there's photographic proof of the moon changing size. No way for it to do that without being a hologram. You can see the proof for yourself. Just do an image search for, quote, large moon or harvest moon. You'll see dozens of photos of absolutely massive moons just bouncing and, against a foreground of landscapes and sometimes even cityscapes. When the cities, you can even compare the size of the moon against other photos and see the discrepancy. This person does not understand telephoto fucking lenses.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
Yeah.
That thing where the guy was saying it was a Mandela effect because the moon used to not go away.
used to just be there all the time.
Yeah, just full moon constantly. Werewolves had it great.
God, yeah, the werewolves come out every night. Sun goes down, the werewolves come out. Just partying and eating people.
Friggin' Warren Zevon getting down constantly.
I just sent you guys a link to a rather substantial and meaty one called 10 Proofs the Moon is Real Debunked, and I think we should look at this one.
Yes, I just clicked the link.
Oh, okay. Let's take a look at this.
Now, let's do our David Letterman countdown list here.
All right, do we each want to take one?
Sure.
Are we starting with, like, reverse order? What's going on here?
Yeah,
You brought it to us, so take number one.
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay,
then
take
Mike will
number
do
one.
2, I'll do 3, and so on.
The first proof the moon is real debunked. 1. People landed on the moon / photos on Mars show the moon next to the Earth. Well, first, who went in space? The government. Who hides the fact the moon doesn't exist? The government. And who sees the photos of Mars videos on the moon before anyone else and has the time to modify them? The government.
Okay.
I'm convinced.
Yeah, sure. Why
Yep.
not? I wouldn't.
yeah, no.
You be?
Hands down, I'm with them.
And the government charges me taxes, therefore they're bad. Therefore
Yeah.
they're lying about everything.
Okay, Mike, you take number 2.
All right. Ancient drawings show the moon. First of all, not all drawings show the moon. Like, for instance, you don't see drawing. I'm just going off script here, but you don't see moon drawings in a hut scene. Where's the moon?
Where's Poochie?
Second of all, those who show the moon don't really show the moon, just an asteroid or star. Also, a big fire and a mirage, parentheses caused by the fire smoke, or for example, can look like the moon, and you have no way to go back in time and prove me wrong.
So,
Smug face.
Which
That's
we
just what
talked
I
about earlier.
yeah, so the
Shit.
moon is smoke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at all the pictures of, like, Jesus. There wasn't a moon in every picture of Jesus, therefore the moon doesn't exist.
Oh, well, you actually just successfully argued and convinced several right-wing people. All right, 3. Lunar eclipses. Well, that's easy. The spaceships in orbit around the Earth to make the hologram of the moon go behind the Earth, since they are in orbit, and may not be able to show the image. When enough spaceships are behind, the shadow of the Earth appears.
You make a good point.
Yes, yes.
Things are behind other things on occasion.
I love this Monty Python sketch.
Yes.
Right?
Number 4, solar eclipses. If an, quote, unknown spaceship, parentheses, one used to project the moon, goes in front of the sun, the news will spread and the secret discovered. Usually the pilots can go over or under. However, if a spaceship loses control, the hologram of the moon will be moved over the sun and will hide the spaceship. And yes, by the way, the hologram is opaque.
So they're not just satellites; they're spaceships. They have they have pilots on them. So could you imagine, like you graduated top of your Air Force class, and they tell you we got a super secret mission for you. You're gonna live your whole fucking life on a holographic moon spaceship that just orbits the Earth, projecting the moon.
And you still fuck up and go in front of the projector.
Yeah.
Yep,
And they have to cover it up.
yep,
Wow.
yeah,
American exceptionalism.
yes.
I mean, how sad. I feel bad for these guys that are on these, holographic projecting spaceships.
Mike, can you read number 5? Because I can't
but-
wait to read 6.
But I'm still
I'm
sympathizing
sorry.
for these fake dudes on
these fake dudes on these
spaceships.
fake spaceships, yes.
But that just fucked me up. But number 5,
Mike had the feels.
August moons. The government's explanation is just nonsense.
They have one?
Come on. Air would make the moon red and bigger. The moon gets red because of the difficulty to make the moon appear in angle, parentheses, the colors are messed up and appear red. The moon gets bigger because they make the hologram closer to minimize the effects of the tilt.
Okay. Now, this next one I absolutely love because you can just, it's like, I don't believe in a moon, but I believe spaceships do the same thing as a moon. Number 6. Tides. That's simply because of the gravity of the spaceships, not the gravity of the moon.
Wouldn't it just be fucking simpler to go with the moon? It would make so much more sense to go with the moon instead of fucking spaceships. God damn it.
So one, these are some
settle down, buddy. It's going to be okay.
These are some very massive spaceships, and two, if there's more than one of them and they're like spaced out, they would have like multiple tides.
Just build a moon.
Be easier to just build a moon.
Yeah, and then send it back in time.
And send it back in time.
Just use the one we already fucking have.
Well, just turn
God.
Just turn off the moon gravity dissipator and turn on the turn off the moon hologram thing and just use the moon we have.
I feel like this topic's gonna make me throw up. What the fuck?
We've talked about the moon being hollow, like maybe it's a spaceship. Maybe someone lost the manual and we had to make a fake moon to cover for the fact that we can't turn the gravity back on.
Oh, wow.
On the real moon.
Oh no. I don't like this. Read 7, damn it.
7. 4 out of 5 people believe it. That is exactly what the government wants. Come on. The more people believe it, the clearer the proof. That means the government makes subliminal messages to make the population believe it's true.
So hold on. I want to do some math here.
So because we believe it, it's bullshit.
Okay, hold on. I want to see a thing.
Oh,
here.
don't bring your goddamn logic into
overestimating
this.
the population who believes the moon is fake.
I think they're underestimating it on some level, but yeah.
What would 1/5 be? That's like 20%?
Yeah.
Yes, that's 20%. So this man thinks that 16,600,000 people believe in the fake, the holographic moon. Because that's 1 out of 5 people
In the world.
no, that's just U.S. That's the US.
Just in the U.S.
Out of the U.S. population of 332 million, for 1 in 5 people, which is, what's left over out of 4 out of 5 people, to believe in the holographic moon, that's 16.5 million people that believe the moon doesn't exist. Where do you get those numbers from?
I don't know, but here's the thing. All right, you know how that one theory said we started projecting the moon in the 20th century?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how freaked out like primitive tribesmen were when they first turned that fucker on and suddenly there's this bright thing in the sky and they just start screaming?
Well, you see, it was just without the moon, it was just dark at night, so they just all slept through the whole night.
Someone turned the goddamn light on.
So they didn't notice until one of them went up to pee and was like, "Wait, why is it so bright out here?"
And then he just starts screaming.
But no, they're just primitive, people, so they never look up. They don't those primitive people don't.
They
think,
don't
Kevin.
have necks.
It's like
Shit.
it's like Douglas Adams and the cricket people. There's nothing interesting up there, so they never look up.
Oh, yeah. There's no stars or constellations of the Milky Way or nothing like that.
Yeah. So all the quote unquote moon gods and moon mythology was just bullshit.
Yep, it's all smoke.
Yep.
Just I saw smoke and it's a god. So Mike, read number 8.
The moon looks upside down in New Zealand.
Oh, you got to read it right. It's New Zealand.
Zealand.
New
I'm
Zealand.
sorry. I'm sorry for
It's
internally
New-Zealand.
for correcting their
Never do that.
fuck up.
I love that. I love
Typo.
this. I love
That's
this one.
simple. American spaceships don't have the right to fly above New Zealand. So it's New Zealand spaceships making the moon.
New Zealandian.
New Zealandian spaceships making this moon, which explains why it's different.
Yeah, it's got a big koala on it.
So,
Oh my god.
so that actually was a in the run up to the space race, before we actually went, orbital,
Right.
there was worry that other countries, especially the USSR, would throw a stink about American satellite overflights. So it was actually a boon that that Sputnik went first. So the Soviets said, basically with Sputnik, the Soviets said nobody can, because before then it was expected that a country controlled their airspace from ground level through infinity. So anything,
Wow.
even in orbit, because nobody used orbit, nobody even really.
Man, that
Done
means for
anything with
like a little while, Mars belongs to Russia every night.
But with Russia flying Sputnik and having it overfly basically everywhere on Earth,
Like a
they
big middle
admitted
finger.
but they also admitted that they don't own the airspace in orbit, because otherwise, they were violating our airspace. So it's kind of a good thing, because if you think about it, on the other side, if the U.S. had orbited a satellite first, it's pretty conceivable that the Russians would have been like, "You can't do that. That's our space."
Yeah, that's true.
So-
and guys, this is the one real thing we've learned tonight.
Yeah. So
Oh.
the fact that that no fly thing was kind of a thing, but now it's understood that that countries only have sovereignty over the airspace that they can actually use with airplanes.
Right.
And anything above, I don't know what the actual demarcation is, but I'm assuming anything above what's considered the Kármán line, that is the boundary of space, is not part of that nation's sovereignty.
Okay.
Now, New Zealand. That's where they filmed the
Zealand,
Hobbit, right?
Oh yeah, the Hobbit. I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Well, the Hobbit,
That's where Woda Workshop is,
Water Workshop. We worked on the Lord of the Rings.
and the Hobbit.
That's the one with Fudo Bagans, right?
Yes,
That's the one with Swallow Swaggins. All right, so number 9, moon phases. That's just to save power. Come on, imagine if there was a full moon 24/7. The holographic machines would burn out after a few weeks. So they replace some of the hologram with opaque black to let the projectors rest. But they bring the moon back again so people are not suspicious.
Oh, it's so bad.
I don't even know how that would work.
but Kevin, the moon holographic projectors might burn their light bulbs out. Because the lunar holographic projectors are like the projectors you had in high school.
Yeah, the overhead projectors.
Yeah.
Man, can we point out that this post was made 4 years ago with no comments?
Well,
This is such a bizarre subreddit.
It
the
really
logic,
is.
The logic is airtight, watertight, and sound. No one can dare to refute it.
No one cared to refute it.
Well, that too. But
David,
and number 10,
take us out, David.
Why would the government want to hide the fact the moon doesn't exist? Because the moon hologram blocks a part of the sky. That is the perfect way to hide a secret government space machine being built. I don't know what they are building, but they use the moon to hide it. That is why the moon's orbit looks so natural. It follows the orbit of an actual object. Also, this is why in eclipses, quote, or in parentheses, why the object is not blocked. Special glasses are given, apparently to, quote, protect our eyes. Yeah, right. It's just so the space machine stays hidden. Also, in lunar eclipses, a backup of the holograms, this one on Earth, is activated, which is why the moon is so different.
and the final line of this post is, "Here, I hope I changed your mind. If you thought the moon was real, or at least made you think. We don't know what the government is hiding, but we must find it. I count on you."
I cannot handle that responsibility. I'm sorry.
But Kevin, it's up to all of us to reveal the moon conspiracy.
You know, I'm giving it a nut vote. I'm giving it
You
a
know
nut
what?
vote. I have to.
You know what? I'm with you. I gotta do it. Can we talk about the fact that the guy's name is Nuclear? With Lear spelled in Leet, basically.
Nuclear 3AR.
What?
This was so fucking stupid.
Yes, it was.
It
It was
really
awesome.
was. This episode is just so
So
fucking dumb. We are all stupider for having experienced this. Oh my god. So yeah, that's kind of all I got. We'll come back next week with another topic, and my brain's too mush to even think about what we're gonna do.
We should probably just do a Week in Weird.
Oh, you're right. That's
It
it.
seems like time. I think
Yeah.
every time we do like a big
That's
episode
right.
or something.
We did a
Yeah.
two-parter, now we do a Week in Weird. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll be tackling the all the news that's fit to ignore. So just remember, though, Moon yes, Moon no. Oh God, this has been an amazing subreddit. I don't think the episode would have been nearly as good without it. So
wow.
that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you everyone for listening, and thank you to any new listeners we've got. I know we've been giving out a lot of the cards up at the store. A lot of folks have been taking it, so if you're new here, welcome.
Yeah. Hope,
Probably should have said that at the top of the show.
We apologize for what you just heard.
I
Yes.
hope we didn't one, hurt your brain too much, or two, make fun of your deeply held beliefs.
Just take a drink. That's pretty much it. Just take a drink. So, that being said, David, where can we find you?
You can find me on the socials as HP Comic at HPKOMIC. You can also listen to my radio show, The Mutant Hours, on Deviant Behavior Radio. That is Mondays and Wednesdays at midnight Central Standard Time, and it is good.
It is good. Mike,
Yep.
what have you got to plug?
Not much, but I did want to say I found a article that's comes from Max Kennard, claiming responsibility for faking the moon landing. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, it's a whole article.
Never mind. All right, we're not going
He
into
said,
that.
He said he helped Stanley Kubrick fake it.
We're done. It's this episode is done. It is in the
You're
can.
over the moon.
We are. I am so over the fucking moon. So you can find us on the socials at SupernatPod. You can find our website at supernatpod.rocks. And you can join us on our Discord. You can join our Patreon. You can have all kinds of fun with us on online. And we appreciate you listening. My brain is so mush, I don't know how to end a show anymore.
Yeah.
Holy God, this was a fucking slog. All right, so thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate it. If you can do us one favor, it is tell a like-minded individual about this show. Tell them they'll enjoy it.
Or tell them we will just entertain them and fuck with their mind.
Yeah, because that's definitely going to happen.
That's more likely.
Yeah. So, until next week, say... So until next time, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
It's too cold to stay frosty. And I'm already frosty. My
Easy
nips are
to
just
be frosty.
So hard.
I
cut glass.
Jesus Christ, man.
Never talk about the moon again.
I
No
What
shit.
is it done? Fuck the moon.
I don't want to fuck. Like, hurt. Same.
Hey,